I'm on vacation, and while here I'm finding new uses for technologies, and I'm doing this inside CueCam, of course. This is the presentation that we're going to go through, and it's a straightforward layout of a rundown, topics that I'm going to address, and images and windows that I'm going to share. I've found out how valuable it is to have an outline, that then I can go find the images that I want for that piece of the outline, or find the website that I want to go see for that piece in the presentation. So I really started with, we want to talk about tech for travel. What are the elements that meant the most to me so far in this trip that I'm on now? So the first real breakthrough is researching a trip instead of going to a travel agent or going to a bunch of websites. I'm using ChatGPT dramatically to say, you be the expert in this town that we're going to be visiting. Tell me what you won't find in guidebooks. Tell me what people are saying, what they're talking about. People are going to talk about the weather, and they're going to talk about traffic. But this Les Parisiens, they're going to talk about the Parisians come into town and act like they own the place. They say they act like they're the center of the world. So a little bit of feeling comes through this way. This is the rendering in ChatGPT of the conversation that I had. The picture is not accurate at all. It's hallucinating. This bottle of wine is shooting up into the sky. You've got watermelons with balls down here. But the reality is that they're playing a game called Pétanque. And when we came into town, they were playing that game. This guy over here has just released a ball into the air, and he's shooting at a little target down here. And it's like horseshoes. He wants to get as close as possible. And there are teams, and others can knock his ball away. CarPlay with Apple Maps is a revelation. And not so much that it will get you from A to B, but it will show you turn by turn where things are, including where buildings are, not just where streets are. So there's a little blue line to follow that I've been religious about, and particularly with roundabouts, to be able to go to the third exit in order to get on the street that's going in a different direction. And you can see that I'm looking out at an old village, and there are little buildings that are on the screen that are rendered where they actually exist. And the little blue line that says this is a route to go, I just live by that little blue line. It's really been dramatic in the value that I'm getting by having my map with me at all times, including telling me things like the store is open or the restaurant is closed. The next area of dramatic improvement has been translations. One thing is to translate. The other is to see a sign and point your camera at it and use Google Lens and have it translate for you what's on that sign. As an example, this is the back of a bag of granola. And I wanted to find out how much sugar is in that bag. Everything's in French, all the ingredients, I don't understand what it's saying. And yet here I can put Google Lens on it, change everything into English, and I can now read the labels. This has been a big surprise for me, and that's decoding appliances. I'm supposed to use them, but I can't make heads or tails out of the instructions on the washing machine and dryer. Here is this knob, what's it for? It was so bad that I pointed ChatGPT at it, and I said, can you tell me how to set up the washing machine? And they said, well, that's actually the dryer. And so I went over to the washing machine and it told me that knob says this, here's what you want to set it for, gave me all the instructions, and every little item worked based on guidance given by ChatGPT. It might seem trivial, but this is probably the longest conversation I had with ChatGPT trying to figure out how to get the washer and dryer to behave. And yet, in the end, I got the soap in the right place, I got the right temperature, and I was able to go. And of course, I went on and asked about other appliances like the Nespresso machine. And the last area I'll touch on is packaging. How to get pepper out of the pepper shaker. I can see that the size of the granules was managed by these little holes at the top of the pepper shaker, but ChatGPT had to take a picture of it and tell me that you actually take this cap up here and you have to pull it off. And I had no idea that it was just pop it off and then turn it over and you could grind your peppers. I was trying to twist it forever and it just wouldn't work. So that's a glimpse of 5 tips or 5 techs that have made travel just light years different.